What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back in another DSP video, and surprise, surprise, DSP has quit the documentary. Wow, no one ever saw this coming. DSP quitting on something? Wow, what a shock. So he went on his Level 1 podcast and was talking about how if he went through with this documentary, he would have no time to spend with his wife. He would have to take time off of work, weeks at a time. And he's talking about how it's too much work, and then people were interviewing trolls. And he even said as well, this was supposed to be a documentary about his life and his YouTube career, but he said he didn't want the toxic, negative stuff from his past to be in this documentary. So you want it to be about your YouTube career, but you don't want your negative, toxic stuff in there. Newsflash for you, Phil, that is your YouTube career. And then he went into a huge rant about how documentaries and biographies are supposed to be when you're at the end of your career, when you take your swan song, or when they give you flowers, as Phil says. It was all over the place. He's freaking out about something. Like, you can tell, this man is freaking out about something that he found out that is going to be in this documentary. Maybe someone Mike talked to, because I know he was talking to like Scopely employees, Phil's family. One of the theories is that his parents found out about all the money he wastes on WWE champions. But we're going to see some people's reaction to this and some other stuff. So we start off with Mirrored Entity. DSP's big announcement, he has canceled the documentary on his end. Whatever happens at this point is whatever happens. There, saved you a whole hour of literally waffling and blaming chat about being scared about negativity. He gave his answers to the world. Then we have a quote tweet from Kramer. I think Phil got scared off from Mike possibly talking to Scopely employees and or certain people coming out with in real life experiences with Phil that weren't going to be positive. Yeah, some people have theorized that they talked to Panda Lee or John Rambo. Now this is another interesting point because in the past, in maybe the last 6 months, DSP kept talking about how he had appointments with lawyers. He always made this out to be a big deal about his day off, running around, lawyers, appointments, whatever. And then, when it came out that he was doing the documentary with Mike Clum, he told everyone that papers were being signed and everything was going forward. So we have Mr. Stuff here. Phil and Mike Clum signed contracts and agreements with lawyers. Reason Phil needed a printer. Remember his printer broke down and he was talking about how it's a worthless piece of crap. And his legal appointments. Now, do you think Phil actually read the contract and knows the penalties, if any, for backing out of an actual legal contract? And Phil is an idiot. Remember, this is the same man who saw his income just absolutely drop into the ground, and his big idea was, let's move across the country, pay for it all on credit cards, and let the other credit cards pay for themselves. Yeah, that's how smart this guy is. And he has a business degree with a major in finance. And also go back to when he talked about Machinima and Twitch and Blip TV and all these places he had contracts with, where he said they're not legally binding and they can't do anything. Remember, this is also the same man who had 2 condos at the same time, and he didn't want to pay for the one he wasn't living in. So his big idea was, let's just not pay it anymore. Stop the payments. They brought him to court. And his big idea there, let's just not show up, just let them take care of it. That is a man that goes to jail. Just saying. Then we have the outsider who does all the this is how you don't plays. So DSP backed out of nowhere from a legal contract that lawyers read over. Oh god, I wonder what startling realization made him wake up from this I want good publicity stupor to do if this is true. Post-nut clarity, but for internet clout. And this plays off of what I was talking about earlier, where DSP thinks a biography should only be made at the end of someone's career. We have Gamerface Gaming. Guess it's impossible to make a documentary or interview to make him look good, and we're gonna have to wait for that autobiography in 21-22. We got Phil looking angry, and we have this one from Poem's Future. I guess this is the spin he's going to go with to justify wasting everyone's time over this constant need to keep looking for someone to make him a fluff piece about his life. We have a video here we're going to take a look at, so let's take a look at this.
Guys, when there was more information about it, I would give it to you, and then there was no information about it, and now it's canceled. So, FYI, I feel like the shock of people saying, oh my god, it's canceled, is from people who sadly go to detractor circles, go to troll channels, go to idiotic morons who restream, go to idiots who have no content of their own, and just make drama content out of everything I do on my stream, and they hyped it up, right? They were so excited for it. They were so pumped that I was going to be doing a documentary because it was going to give them free content and license to be toxic for the next 27 years. I barely even mentioned it myself, right? And now that it's not happening, oh my god, it's hilarious. Just so you guys know, I've gotten messages, I've gotten comments, I've gotten emails from trolls. Oh, they're all upset that I'm not doing it anymore. Well, I guess I made the right decision then. Let's just put it that way, right? Like, if that's the reaction, then I probably made the right decision.
Now, Phil, I highly doubt any trolls reach out to you. The only time trolls reach out to you is tell you to go fuck yourself and your mother. The funny thing about this is as well, this does not affect us as detractors or trolls or haters, if you want to call us that, Phil. Because if you do the documentary, it exposes your daily life, all your lies, all your disgusting house habits. If you don't do a documentary, you rage quit it, just like we said you would. You're a coward. Like, either way, we win here, Phil. Then we have Steve of the Bed. Nah, mate, you bigged this up for weeks and then decide to cancel it yourself because you're scared of Mike showing too much. This wasn't because of us. Act like a fucking adult at once and own your shit, you absolute coward. So we have JG Anno, who used to be JG Win. He tracks a lot of DSP's money, very similar to Piece of Peace. He does his weekly breakdown to see if Phil made more money week over week and month over month and year over year. Go follow them on Twitter. Amazing stuff. I love their account. And he says, let this be a cautionary tale for others that want to work with DSP in the future. Mike Clum wasted his time and an unknown amount of money for nothing. DSP has thrown every lame/BS excuse why he's busy and can't do the documentary. The dangers of working with LOLCOWs. And then at the bottom he says, sounds like he's afraid of the past coming back to haunt him after listening to this whole bit. Wonder if DSP wouldn't be able to handle what was going to turn up in it. Then we have this one from Len the Deranged. Phil claims we wouldn't exist without him. But what would he do if we didn't exist? Blame himself? Take accountability? What a nightmare. Yeah, the whole thing is, Phil, the only reason you're still on YouTube or social media or even online making any kind of money is because of the trolls, the haters, the detractors, whatever you want to call them. If we didn't give you that kind of attention and point out how dumb you are, your stupidity, the way you're scamming people, you would have faded into the obscure zone. And you would have been a relic of the past. I mean, you already are, but even more so. Then we have Poems Future again. DSP. I'm too busy to do a documentary right now, so I'm canceling it. DSP 7 hours later. I'm canceling my documentary because of my trolls and negativity. Then we have Boneless at the bottom replies to that. Agrees to do a documentary. Starts numerous projects. Sir Clum, sorry, I'm too busy. And we have this one from David Davidson. Phil got word that too many detractors were going to be given their take, so he couldn't stay in the documentary. Probably the Gundam interview got wind of Phil and how Mike is starting to sound like us. Yeah, during that interview, there was one moment, it was quite hilarious, where they made a joke about Gundam getting support and all that other stuff. And Mike goes, yeah, I'm gonna start e-bagging for Gundam. Come on guys, give him $1, even if you got $1. And he started to sound like he was mocking Phil. It was hilarious. If you haven't seen that Gundam interview with Mike Clum, go find it. It's hilarious. And we have Will. At least this proves once and for all the detractors were correct and Phil is a proven liar. And we have the Outsider replying to David Davidson. I'm gonna say this is the reason why. Clum thought he would be fair and give anyone a chance to weigh in. Dude, Gundam might be one of the more tame people to have on the documentary. There's legit people who would tear into this man given the chance. And then this one goes into how Mike Clum actually met Phil after they started talking. So Mike Clum, I don't know where he's from, but he flew to Renton/Seattle, went to the Snore Fort, went inside. He was actually inside Phil's house, met his wife, met Phil, they went to dinner. So he's been around Phil, and we have in an otter place. What if Phil C realized that there was no way he could make Phil look good after meeting him, saw what a liar Phil is, how dull him and Kat waddling around the shops would be on film, and just cancel the whole thing himself? Phil being self-aware seems wrong somehow. And then Poem's future with some truth right here. DSP got what he wanted from Clum, exposure. Now that it's time for the real work to happen and things to come out that he can't control, he's running. He got what he wanted, the rest doesn't matter now. And then another one from Poem's future. DSP is doing a documentary to attack the trolls and turn public opinion about him around. He is a victim of an online hate movement, which Taken L's quotes that and says, "It was a tactic to try to run the blockade we have on his reputation. It failed with Quarter Pounder, failed with the Dent Scrollers, and now failed again with Mike Hunt. There's a pattern of escalation here. Maybe next he'll beg Biden for a pardon or something." Then next up we have Theo. DSP backing out should really wake Mike Clum and everyone up. This dude is not built to work with others. He's made to just sit on his ass and drain his fan base for pennies. Yeah, all those Argentina pennies. And Sweaty Man JPEGs says, "I'd be interested to hear what Scopely said." Which we have B here. Did Pig Roach catch wind of Clum talking to employees of WWE Champions app? And he thinks pulling out of the documentary will stop people from knowing the truth about his addiction? Especially his wife, who promised he'd stop playing mobile games and not to spend money on it? Remember too, he's not the only one in that household that plays mobile games. Even recently, in 2024, he's talking about how his wife plays mobile games as well. So you take the money that Phil spends on mobile games, and you take the money that Kat spends on mobile games, you add that together. And we have Josh here. If Mike Clum wants to salvage the DSP doc, he should make it about Phil's detractors and how much of a narcissistic liar Phil is. There will be more than enough public Phil content to air, and besides, the detractors are infinitely more entertaining than a 42-year-old man who poverty streams 6 days a week. And also Phil, when he was talking about canceling the interview, he's talking about how this is going to negatively impact his community and nobody wants that. Everyone's telling me to get rid of it. Everyone's telling me to back out of the documentary. All my fans don't want me to do it. So we have this one from Kramer. It's a screenshot of Meatball Man in his chat. The nice Meatball Man. We have Meatball Man had a chance to work with a professional documentary who would have actually shown your side fairly, and you squandered it. Damn, man. And then after this, Phil accused Meatball Man of being a troll and being a sock account, and pretty sure he banned him after that. I can't remember. We have Bieber Sucks. Spends 5 minutes answering super chats, looking forward to now canceled documentary. Immediately tells us that everyone was telling him not to do it. Next up we have Darcy to Phil. Canceling the doc is a win-win in his gin brain. It won't exist to make him look worse. Vegas quo maintained. He can now say a lot of people were excited for it, so his life is meaningful. The juice without the squeeze. And we have Meerkat with a very interesting tweet at Mike Clum. Sir Clum, are you interested in coming on our podcast, that being said, and share your experience working with the one and only Pig Roach? Can you imagine if he goes on that being said? Phil is going to lose his mind because it'll be Side Scrollers 2.0 with Stuttering Craig. We have this from Potion. This dude was bragging how this was going to be his fair shake and see his side of the story, and he would see everything with this project. It's not a Detractor video. Now that the dude is about to start filming, Phil pulls the plug. Either he is hiding something or that paranoid. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about earlier, where I talked about Mike Clum flew to Renton/Seattle, met with Phil and all that stuff. So the outsider, without knowing anything, Mike probably put money down for a flight, cab fare, hotel, plus whatever else to travel to DSP. Those are expenses. I sure hope DSP covered them or at least reimbursed them. It'll be interesting if a clause in the contract that he saw in Phil is if Phil pulls out, he has to reimburse Mike for all these expenses. Wouldn't that be very funny if Mike sues Phil, brings him into court to reimburse him for all this? Then we have, I did nothing wrong. So I assume what actually happened is DSP found out about something that would be out of his control, and or the documentary would not be how he imagined it, and backed out. And this is a screenshot from Phil's chat again. We have Street Fighter 6 Blanca was gifted with a membership by Mike Clum, wasted 10k on this pig roach. Of course, people doing the Argentina gift memberships. Then we have Rebsy at the very bottom. It was 10k to 15k according to Mike Clum's interview with It's a Gundam. I have to go back and look at that. I don't remember that, but I didn't see the whole interview. But if he spent 10k to 15k to meet Phil on flights and all that other stuff, and DSP pulled out, which was probably the better option for his father to do back in the day, that is insane money. Because we all know he wasn't going to go through with this. And then we have this one from Theo. Last year, DSP had 3 ideas. DSP versus the internet, big react streams, DSP asks it. This year, it's Cat on Stream, Mike Clum, and DSP throwback. Noticing the pattern? One gets hard cancelled, the second gets soft cancelled, and one remains a focus forever because it's easy. Hope you guys like that. If there's any updates on this, I'll let you guys know. So don't forget to click that like, share the video, leave a comment below, hit subscribe to my other channels on the details or the end cards. And as always, I love each and every one of you. Hope you're all safe, healthy, and happy. Peace and love.